we are discussing the various attributes of interpersonal skills, and we have discussed how important it is to take care of a few points while appearing in interview and while working in a team group to get excel, to get success in professional life. Now, in general, what is most important is to be positive and engaging. If you feel confident about your ability to do the job and know you will be an asset to the employer, you can show that by your actions as well as your words. It is said that practice makes interview perfect. Practicing your delivery of messages through role playing with counselors and friends can help you to hone your non-verbal communication skills. Try recording your practice sessions so you can analyze some of the nuances of your style. Now, here are some tips that I am going to give you. Spending some time practicing will ensure your skills are up to par. You will also feel more comfortable when you are interviewing or networking if you have spent time getting ready. The less nervous you are, the better you will be able to communicate, both verbally and non-verbally. When you are attending career networking events, your non-verbal communication skills matter. If you come across as awkward or flustered, you will be less likely to make connections who can help with your job search or career. Practicing how you will introduce yourself can make the entire process go more smoothly so you can make the best impression. In many occupations, establishing credibility and trust is a significant success factor. Using non-verbal behavior like eye contact, for instance, can further demonstrate your sincerity and engaging personality. Well, when we talk of public speaking skills, which is one of the important attributes of interpersonal skill, we can say that it is seldom, if ever, an entire job description, but dynamic and well prepared speakers are highly valued by employers and tend to earn leadership positions and important client contact roles. Anyone whose job involves communicating, teaching or persuading will do a better job if they have public speaking skills. The art of public speaking comes into play not only in the delivery of speeches and truly public talks, but also in professional presentations, training, events and motivational speaking. Consultants, training, managers, clergy, sales representatives, teachers and others all have a reason at times get up in front of others and speak. So, effective public speakers are in an excellent position to get their messages across in the workplace. A luster speaker can make a solid product or proposal seem less than enticing, while a polished speaker can add a lot to an otherwise mediocre proposition. Most professional level roles require some amount of public speaking to carry out functions like presenting findings, pitching proposals, training junior staff and leading meetings. The words public speaking cause fear and anxiety in the minds of otherwise competent and confident people. Does the thought of speaking in front of a group evoke fear, make you sweat and get your heart pounding? It's like you have glossophobia, the fear of public speaking. Glossophobia is one of the most common of fears. There are many ways to increase business exposure, so why bother to overcome your speaking jitter? Stepping up to the podium not only positions you as an expert in your area of business, but it also provides effortless referrals and improved sales opportunities. Presenting a non-sales informative speech warms up your target market and builds trust. Unlike endless cold calls, the people you present to and follow up with are more receptive to listening to your offering of products and services. Overcome your fear of public speaking and boost your business with these 7 tips I am going to tell you. The first tip is start small. That is smart start. Start small. If you are new to the world of public speaking, start small. Find a few friends and family to practice on. By speaking to smaller groups and build up from there. The size of the audience makes no difference. If you know your topic, your pre-speaking fear will quickly evaporate. Second is prepare thoroughly. Nothing helps ease the fear of public speaking more than knowing your material. The ability to connect with your audience comes from having the confidence you won't get lost during your delivery. Rehearse several times before the big talk. Time your presentation and always have backup material in case time is left over. Third is don't just memorize the words. This can be dangerous also. Mastering the art of public speaking comes not from memorizing word for word your entire speech. The real pros know their material by remembering key points and prompts on subtopics and examples to cover. Fourth is avoid common bullets. The majority of business presentations and speeches are boring monologues filled with endless PowerPoint slides and bullet points. Trash the PowerPoint presentation and make your material the focal point of the talk. If you do use PowerPoint, take the approach of using visuals that quickly convey your message. Fifth, reduce stress. The most fearful moment of any presentation is the 1 minute before your stage entrance. Use the tactics of elite athletes by visualizing a positive outcome and using deep belly breathing to reduce stress and build confidence. Sixth is find a friend to focus on. Prior to your public speaking on a stage, introduce yourself to a few members of the audience in the front row. During your talk, look these people in the eyes to ease your nervous and connect with your audience. Engage the audience, that is the next point. Creating a monologue presentation puts the entire task of informing and entertaining the audience on you. Make your talk a two-way interaction with questions and participation to reduce boredom and speak with ease. Having the group involved also gives you time to recognize your thoughts if things are going off track. Next is the 4 cardinal rules of terrific PowerPoint presentation. Because in the present days, PowerPoint presentation is very important part of career growth. It is an integral part of interpersonal skills. So, because a business presentation is meant to inform, motivate and create a call to action, PowerPoint is commonly used in business meetings as an aid to the topic at hand. Despite the proliferation and simplicity of this visual aid, time after time, the misuse of PowerPoint technology ends up detracting from the original intent of the meeting. So, you can create and deliver a PowerPoint presentation if you understand the 4 cardinal rules of terrific PowerPoint presentation. What are these 4 terrific points? The first is, don't pretend to be an author reading from your book. I am sure that you must have understood it. The first broken cardinal rule of effective PowerPoint presentation is forgetting the intent of the software. PowerPoint is not a Word document program or a means for dumping data on an audience. If you cut and paste text from a written document into the PowerPoint presentation, that is a surefire method for alienating your audience. The biggest mistake presenters make is taking on the role of the writer as they proceed to read the content in the slide. Keep in mind that you are the presenter, not the orator, and your job is to how your audience by connecting with them as you guide them through the slide. The second point is, simple is always best. So, be simple. Simplicity is at the heart of every good business presentation. People do not want nor can they absorb a lot of information at one sitting. Consider the unfettered look of the Google homepage or the clean and simple design of the iPad. Both have created a passionate fan base. To move people with your business presentation, your PowerPoint needs to evoke emotion with simple yet powerful messages and images. Less is always more when delivering a top-notch business presentation. Third is picture over words. The old saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words, cuts to the heart of effective PowerPoint presentation. I am just telling you the one point of PowerPoint that you can use. HubSpot's 25 best PowerPoint presentations all feature more graphics and fewer words. You can use that HubSpots. Also, each of the presentations used compelling original images, not boring generic clip art. Remember, even though PowerPoint presentations contain data such as facts and statistics, people see presentations. They don't read them. And the fourth one is incorporate the unexpected. To create a memorable presentation, you need to go beyond the expected. Stirring up controversy or challenging the beliefs of your audience is one method for waking them up and keeping them alert. Now, These are the important points that you can use when you give a good PowerPoint presentation. If we want to motivate people to pay attention, we should seize the power of big surprise, break patterns, create mystery, build unique stories, and find knowledge gaps. The unexpected equals attention. So, the very important point is that how to avoid the boring during PowerPoint presentation. Not everyone is a born public speaker. Even the most accomplished business people can experience a stage fright when addressing an audience. In these cases, the presenter tends to read from notes and not make eye contact with the audience. This is a recipe for disaster. To wow your audience, don't use the PowerPoint as a note tool. Take the time to familiarize yourself with your topic and touchstone points that comprise your presentation. Now, how to come over through glossophobia? Numerous surveys have revealed that people are more afraid of public speaking than they are of dying. There is even a technical name for this fear, glossophobia, and we are discussing and we've discussed that what are the result of glossophobia. So, psychologists classify it as a social anxiety disorder, although many who claim to hate public speaking may not be afraid of other social interactions. If you break into a sweat and your knees start to tremble when you hear the sentence, you have to give a speech, you may have glossophobia. The size of the audience often doesn't matter. Some people experience a great deal of anxiety regardless of whether they have to make a presentation to a small group or give a speech to a large room full of people. It is worth your while to overcome this fear, since you may be called upon to do this at some point in your career. And this is very important to learn how to do this effectively. Learn as much as you can about the topic which you are going to present. When you are called upon to make a presentation, take the time to learn all about the subject matter. The more you know, the more comfortable you will feel sharing your knowledge with others. Find out who your audience will be. Are you going to be addressing people who are expert in your subject matter, or will be novices? It will be easier to prepare your presentation when you know the extent of your audience's knowledge. If you tell them things of which they are already aware, they will be bored. But if you leave out pertinent information, your audience will be lost. So, while you may think ignoring an upcoming speech will keep anxiety at bay, not being prepared will only exacerbate your glossophobia. Your mind may go blank when you are up at the podium. Rather than attempting to give an off-the-cuff presentation, write down an outline of all the key points you want to hit, or even better, have your entire speech written out just in case your train of thought disappears. Speak extempore if possible, but have a backup in case you need it. So, presentation in many different formats are a big part of being a small business owner. You may be delivering your elevator pitch at networking event pitching your services during a sales call, or speaking at small business conferences. So, although they are all very different types of presentation, they are all important for small business owners. If you are using your valuable time to prepare and deliver some sort of presentation, you want it to be a success. You want to engage your audience and make your presentation memorable. So, let us see, how to make a very memorable presentation. Regardless of the type of presentation, don't wait until the last minute to start preparing. As soon as you know you will be presenting or attending a meeting that requires more informal presenting, start thinking about the content of your presentation. Research your audience. Your audience should drive not only the content you present but your approach as well. Identify your goals. What are your goals? Why are you presenting? Are you trying to win business? Are you sharing your expertise? Take time to identify your goals and keep them in mind as you develop your presentation. Know your time limit. Make sure you know how long you will have to present. It is vital to know if you are delivering a 60-second elevator pitch, a half-hour tutorial, or a 2-hour presentation before you start preparing your content. Even if your presentation is short and simple, avoid the temptation to keep your content only in your head. Your presentation should be written down so you can revise, practice, fine-tune before the big day. Create visual aids if necessary. Depending on the type of presentation, you may want some kind of visual aid to add to your presentation. However, do not include every piece of content on your slide. Keep it short and simple. Your visual aid should be for your audience to drive home important points, not a crutch for your presentation. Memorize it? Don't worry. I am not going to suggest that you need to memorize every word of your presentation, but start by memorizing the key points anyway. Knowing the content inside and out will make you more comfortable and confident during the delivery. Practice, practice, practice. This is the Mool mantra. Run through your presentation in full several times before the big day. You may even consider videotaping yourself so you can self-critique and fine-tune. Now, leave something behind. Handouts are a great way to drive home your message and give attendants something to refer to after they leave. Be sure to include your contact information and invite the audience to contact you with questions. And always attend events with a handful of business cards. Use humor. Humor can be powerful in presentation setting. Not only can it put the audience at ease, but it can make you more relaxed as well. Make it interactive. To prevent boredom for your audience, plan group activities. Ask questions and work in a break if appropriate. Show your passion. Hopefully, you are passionate about the subject matter. Let your enthusiasm come through in your delivery. It can be contagious and the perfect way to engage your audience. Get there early. Not only do you want to be on time, but if you get there early, you can scope out the room where you will be presenting and start to familiarize yourself with the environment. You can also meet some of the people in the audience, which can help add a conversational tone. Presentation can be nerve-wracking if you don't deliver them often, but don't be intimidated by the process. Now, follow some tips. You also try to get the tips from the expert. So, these are the things, and it is also true that don't memorize your speech, the whole speech. Some of the key words you can think of. Practice is very important. Anticipate questions your audience may ask. Come up with a list of queries your audience might have. Start with the ones you had when the topic was new to you. Then prepare your answer. It is essential to realize that someone may throw what is known as real jingle, a question you could never have anticipated or much less know the answer to. It is okay to say you aren't sure of the answer, but promise to look into it. Don't forget to follow up. Dress well but comfortably. Wear professional attire for your presentation. It should be an outfit that looks good and feels good as well. Knowing you look your best will help stave off glossophobia. Being comfortable will keep you from losing focus. A tight collar or shoes that pinch your feet can be very distracting. Stop telling everyone how nervous you are. Don't tell anyone except maybe one trusted person about your anxiety. Keep your complaints to a minimum if you decide to confide in someone. Dwelling on how nervous you feel will merely serve to exacerbate your nervousness. Instead, pretend to be confident. You may even start to believe it. Keep a glass of water nearby. A dry mouth while giving a speech happens to everyone, not only individuals who have glossophobia. Take sips of water occasionally to keep your mouth from feeling like it is filled with cotton. Find some friendly faces in the audience. So, before beginning to speak, look for familiar faces. Use visual aids. And be sure to check the facility to make sure it has the equipment you need and that you know how it works. For example, if you are planning a digital presentation, you will need a smart podium. Make other plans if the necessary equipment is not available. Don't forget, your slide should supplement your speech. Don't read directly from them. Speak slowly. People tend to talk more quickly when they are nervous. So, make a conscious effort to slow down. You will be less likely to stumble over your words when not rushing through your speech. Now, these are some important points which you need to keep in mind while going for a professional presentation or a public presentation. All these make you a perfect presenter. Well, today we have discussed in detail the attributes of interpersonal skill. We have also discussed the difference between intrapersonal skill and interpersonal skill. And we have seen that how important to develop a good public speaking quality with PowerPoint presentation. With these words, I want to conclude today's lecture, and I hope that you must have gathered good opinion regarding how to develop presentation and how to speak in public. So practice it, read it, listen to it again and again, and be a perfect orator. Thank you very much.